Is the Ugarte deal off, or is it just a big negotiation tactic from Ineos to get PSG to lower the fee? David Ornstein's dropped a big story on that, basically, which could be United's message to PSG: lower the fee or we're going elsewhere. But where could United be going? Because their alternatives have been revealed, and who is top of the alternatives list? What is the latest on Ugarte? Because Ugarte actually informed PSG today he wants to leave, and United have a big meeting with PSG tomorrow, apparently. What is the latest on midfield outs as McTominay is more and more open to a Fulham news? What's the latest on Wan-Bissaka, Dilik, Mazraoui, other deals, Lloris injury and more? Hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to your 10-minute roundup, where I round up all the latest Manchester United news that is relevant and is from reliable sources that came out in the last 24 hours into a 10-minute video. We're going to start with the stories that have come out since my live stream, and then the last 3 minutes of the show will just be rounding up other news stories in case you missed my live show. So please do hit that like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new. Let's get into Ornstein's story. Manchester United switch midfield search away from Manuel Ugarte and onto other options. Manchester United do not intend to meet the €60 million fee, plus will only revisit if PSG drop the price. No progress yet. Talks called, exploring other top targets for the right deal. So that's what Ornstein said in further detail. Manchester United switching their focus away from Manuel Ugarte and onto other alternatives. The view is that viewers at United that they're only willing to pay what they deem to be the correct fee for each transfer target, and negotiations will not be allowed to drag on to the end of the market. Man United put a 42 million bid in for Ugarte, according to Duncan Castle, who we're going to get into because I think he was spot on this story. I think he got this before Ornstein, because when it comes to agents of players of George Mendes, Duncan Castles gets it all from George Mendes. I think Duncan Castle's report, we're going to go back to that, it's interesting because he said this a few days ago. We offered 42 million for Ugarte. They want which is 50 million euros. They want 60 million euros, which is about 10 million more quid. It's 51 million pounds. We're not going to do that. We're walking away. We've said to PSG, you lower the fee or we're walking away, and they don't seem to be lowering the fee. Now, interestingly, I do think this could be a negotiation tactic from United because, and the reason I'm going to say that is PSG have just spent 59 million on João Neves. They've just spent 35 million on Pacho. They've already spent like 20 million on various other players. PSG have already spent 120 million euros this summer, which is 100 million pounds. Now, they've lost Mbappe, but obviously the wages they save is crazy. But they haven't signed an Mbappe replacement. They didn't get Nico Williams. They haven't got Kvaratskhelia. They haven't got Leao. All the players they looked at as an Mbappe replacement. So they want to be able to spend on an Mbappe replacement, but they've already spent 100 million net. So, obviously, the fact that Enrique didn't even want Ugarte when he came in, because he came in just after Ugarte was signed, Ugarte is now going to be second choice after João Neves. So if they keep Ugarte, he's probably not going to play as much, he's going to lose even more value, and they're not going to get as much money from him next summer. Ugarte didn't have the best season at PSG. The manager doesn't want him. The player wants to leave. I think Ineos are being smart. I think Ineos have said they're trying it on because we're Man United. They're trying to get a big fee for Ugarte. We're just going to say we're walking away. Because I think PSG will panic and lower their fee and get a deal done for 42 million. Because if you brought a player for 50 million and you want to sell him after one season because he's not the kind of player you want, you can't get 50 million for him. You've got to take a loss. An 8 million loss on Ugarte isn't bad. I think the fact that Ugarte's turned down other clubs and wants United and really wants United, the fact that United are the only club that's made a bid for him, the fact that no club is going to pay 50 million for Ugarte because that means that PSG don't make a loss on a player they want to sell after one season. The fact you sign Neves and you need the funds to sign an attacker, Ugarte's pushing for the move. Your manager wants Ugarte gone. You know, you're going to have to take a loss on him because you want to sell him after one season. I think this deal gets done. And I know David Ornstein said we're gonna walk away, but he said obviously the talks haven't progressed. We're looking at other options. I think this is a negotiation tactic. I think either PSG say, okay, it's off, or PSG lower the fee because they panic and we get him. They've seen what we've done with Branthwaite. They'll say, okay, this is different. This isn't the old United where they cave for Maguire, they cave for Hjulmand, they cave for, Anthony. I'm not saying that Hjulmand was a bad signing, but we overpaid for him. I generally think this is a negotiation tactic. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, I generally think that PSG will lower the fee. I know I've said this multiple times and I'm repeating myself, but Ugarte wants United. PSG want to sell him. They need the money. They need to spend on the Mbappe replacement. Nobody's going to give them 50 million for Ugarte. United are smart. There's good alternatives out there. Now, talking of alternatives, Wolves, João Gomez and Fluminense's Andre are two midfielders Manchester United appreciate. Gomez is valued at Wolves at 60 million, so that deal's not going to happen. And Andre is available for under 30 million. I think Andre could be one to watch because I know we've looked at him. He's also said that United are looking at Fabian Ruiz, but again, he's at PSG. If there's a price issue there, that could put a question mark around Fabian Ruiz. We also know we've looked at Joey Veerman, do not want. Zubimendi, I do like. Sander Berge could do better as alternatives for Ugarte. Other sources have confirmed Rabiot, Edson Alvarez, and Fofana, Hjulmand have also been linked at as potential alternatives on top of these players, and there is a rumour of Anton Stach. So in terms of realistic options, Andre's one, I think Fofana's one, I think Hjulmand's one, depending on the price. Rabiot and Amrabat are ones, but I think they're second midfield signings, they're like Eriksen replacements. But Berge, Zubimendi and Veerman's one to watch. This is coming from Duncan Castles, and I think Swedish Rumble makes a really good point here. He said, does seem like Duncan Castles beat Ornstein to this news somewhat 4 days ago, because Duncan Castles, when it comes to George Mendes clients, Duncan Castles knew everything about Ronaldo. Duncan Castles broke the Ronaldo news before every journalist because of George Mendes. He's on it on that. This is what was said by Duncan Castles. It's not as clear cut as people are expecting. Man United will not offer more than 50 million euros, 42 million pounds. PSG will not sell for less than 60 million euros, which is what Ornstein's saying. It said United have begun to look at alternatives. He mentioned Zubimendi, Veerman, Rabiot, Berge, some discussions. It was also said that Berge has some clubs interested in him, but they are definitely one to watch. That story is definitely one to watch. But interestingly, just 2 hours ago, before this story from Ornstein dropped, this was said by the very credible Muppeteers, which again is why I think it's a negotiation tactic, and I don't think Ugarte is completely off. I think watch your Veermans, watch your Fofanas, watch your Zubimendes, watch your Hjulmans, watch your Andres, but I don't think it's still completely off. Amrabat is like an emergency option. They haven't done anything like we are coming for you. They said Manchester United want to get Ugarte, and that's why they're working on it. Ugarte will have discussions with PSG regarding his future when he gets back, likely today, and that Manchester United will have further discussions with PSG with Mendes for Manuel Ugarte in the next few days, is what was said by the Muppeteers, and there's a rumour that could advance. Now, obviously, advancements in midfield may depend on sales, and there is rumours that Scott McTominay could now be open to leaving. It came out today that dialogue remains open between Fulham and Manchester United over the transfer of Scott McTominay. Fulham are yet to decide if they will go back in with an improved offer. United would have to compromise on their asking price for Fulham to come back to the table. Scott McTominay is now willing to join Fulham more than before. Erik ten Hag will be willing to sell Scott McTominay to be able to spend what he needs to move forward. So we're getting told that Fulham are probably going to come back in. We know that Man United will accept a deal at maybe 25 to 30 million pounds. Fulham are expected to come back in, but they haven't fully decided yet. Fulham just going to see if they can get for a little bit cheaper because United want to sell. But McTominay is now willing to join Fulham, which is significant because I've always said it looks like Fulham will come back in and make another bid. But one thing we don't know is if McTominay will go to Fulham. It's now being suggested that McTominay is more open to Fulham. And it has also been further suggested as well that United are open to selling McTominay and 10 Argus. We know United have been open to selling McTominay and 10 Argus, and we know that Fulham are interested, but we've always gone, does McTominay want Fulham? It's been suggested that he does. In regards to De Ligt, the latest on Matthias De Ligt is that Manchester United should be making another offer for De Ligt in the next few days. Manchester United expected initially that it would be able to get De Ligt done for £33 million to £35 million up front with some add-ons. Manchester United were potentially willing to reach closer to €50 million, which is what they want for De Ligt, which is a £42 million base fee. But 42 million, but not as a base fee with add-ons. But Manchester United would rather not sign anybody than reach up to €50 million up front for De Ligt. So again, could we walk away from the De Ligt deal? I think Bayern will cave on that. It's £4 million difference. We're willing to pay about 35 million to 38 million up front. They want 42 million up front. There's not much difference there. I assume a De Ligt deal could be done as well, but they're saying, we will not pay 42 million up front for De Ligt plus add-ons. That's not going to happen. We'll pay 42 million if it includes add-ons, but not up front. And I think that's been said by the Muppeteers, and we'll just walk away. And I think the fact that Bayern will see that we walked away from Branthwaite and that we walked away from Ugarte, and Bayern will know that De Ligt only wants United. I think the fact that we've walked away from Ugarte, I think Bayern will see that and go, you know what, let's just get this deal done over the line. Let's not muck about over a couple million. Let's let United have them to 38 million. We'll take the 4 million loss. It's not the end of the world. The player wants to go. We need to bring in Tar. I think that this could speed up. But again, like Ugarte, United won't overpay for De Ligt. Obviously, De Ligt to Masraoui is expected to be done, but Wan-Bissaka hasn't joined West Ham yet. Wan-Bissaka's holding up the deal. But even though nothing's been done over the weekend like expected, it was expected to be here we go over the weekend for Wan-Bissaka, and that hasn't happened. It's still been said by the Muppeteers that Wan-Bissaka is still expected to join West Ham. It's pretty close. Nothing has changed, given that Wan-Bissaka's in the final year. Wherever West Ham play, United will have to sell some of the offer as payouts. It's also said that Lenny Yoro had a successful surgery on his metatarsal injury. His rehabilitation starts now, and he'll be back to fitness in about 3 months. And then there was this story that Manchester United have included Antony as a part exchange for De Jong to get Barca's 40 million asking price down for Frankie De Jong, and Barcelona rejected this. Personally, why would Barcelona want Antony in the first place? Do I think this is true? No, because we don't even know if De Jong wants to come to United. So I personally don't believe this story. I just thought I'd include it at the end because the reports are coming in that we're now, going for, De Jong and stuff. But I don't think there's much in it. I think realistically, ones to watch will be Fofana, Hjulmand, and a couple others as well. Anyway, guys, please do hit that like button. Of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. Share the video, and yeah, let's see you next time.